What's up all my fine girls? No Pimple is Whit here again with another video. So today I am back with a video that I feel like is going to be very fun to do. So pretty much I was watching this YouTuber. Her name's Sheree's Lifestyle. She's primarily a fragrance channel, and she did a video this past week where it was like a this or that edition, but she was doing it on perfume. So she gets a lot of questions, people asking her to recommend like if it would be this one. Perfect example. Would you recommend Baccarat Rouge 540 or Baccarat Rouge 540 X Straight? Which one should I go with? So I said, you know what? That'll be a very fun video to do, both with eyeshadow palettes. So you guys know that's my specialty here, okay? I love talking about palettes. I own a lot of palettes, so you know what? I was like, let's go ahead and do something like that. So pretty much, this video is going to be a little different in the sense of like, these are not going to be full-on recommendations because some of these palettes aren't available for purchase, but we're going to do it kind of like that, but not really. So like some of them I might say, oh, you know, if I had to recommend out of the two, I would go with this one. And then some of them might just be more so like if I had to choose which one to keep, like, you know, out of the two, which one do I feel like is definitely a must-have for me, it'll be this one. So some of them will be for fun, some of them will be like, you know, seriously, I really could recommend this because you can actually purchase it. Some of them you can't purchase. So anyways, I feel like that's enough rambling. Okay, that's enough rambling. Let's go ahead and get started with this video, okay? So I have, how many pairs of palettes do I have here? Because I have quite a couple. All right, so I have 12 pairs of palettes here. So essentially I have 24 palettes, and we're just gonna run through the list. Alrighty, so with these palettes, a lot of them will be either they're the same brand or they're similar color stories, or something makes them similar enough, or something brings them together to where if someone had to choose only one of the two, which one should you pick, okay? So the first pair that I have here is going to be the Colored Raine, their Safari Raine palette, and the Juvias Place, their Tri palette. So both of these palettes came out around the same time. Both of these palettes are no longer available, so this one right here is just for fun. So let's go ahead and talk about them. So the first one here, let me show you guys the inside. This is what the Juvias Place, not the Juvias Place, sorry. The Colored Raine, their Safari Raine palette looks like. So it's very, you know, just green, mossy with some like fun, you know, neutral colors up here, some peachy colors. Is that like a peach? I don't know what color it is, like an orangey peach color, and then you kind of get some neutrals down here. And then this is what the Tri palette looks like on the inside. Very similar kind of color story. You get some like greens here, some like those peachier shades, and you kind of get some neutrals in this really funky like yellowish green shade, right? So out of these two, if I had to pick one to recommend or one to keep only, which would it be? For me personally, I'm gonna have to go with the Colored Raine, their Safari Raine palette. Okay, listen, this palette, I waited months for it to restock. Like I literally kicked myself over and over. I was like, why didn't you get this one the first release? I don't know, but they had their final restock of this palette the summer of 2020, and I got my hands on this. I absolutely love this palette. Oh, it's gonna mess with my lighting. Oh, let me see if I can back up or if I put it down. Okay, let's see. All right, that's better. All right, so yes, I definitely would, you know, highly recommend this one if it was still available for purchase. Or for me personally, like out of the two, I would want to keep this one. I love this palette so much, and it's still messing with my lighting. Oh dang, that's gonna really make me mad. Okay, let's see, scoochie back. So yeah, Safari Raine palette is amazing, and I wish both of these were still available, but you know, I don't know what these brands be thinking, but yeah. Okay, so next up are two palettes that are still available for purchase, and these are going to be the September Rose, their Slush palette, and their Slush 2. So let me show you what the inside of the Slush palette looks like. So this is a full-on rainbow palette. You get your purples, your blues, greens, oranges, yellows, pinks, all of that jazz in here. And then this is what the Slush 2 looks like. And this one is yet again an all rainbow palette. Now the main difference between these two is one, obviously this one has more shades, and this one has shimmers in here, while this one is an all matte palette. So for me, the reason why I own both of these was I couldn't make up my mind. I was like, I don't know, so I'm gonna buy both. Have you ever been in that place where it's like you can't really make up your mind, so you just get both of them? That's literally what happened. I could not make up my mind. I was like, what is the difference between the two? So let's take a further look at this, okay? So I would say the biggest difference with this and the Slush 2 is that the purples don't go as deep in this palette, and then this matte right here has like that sparkle or glitter in it. And then for me, the yellows and the greens in the Slush 2 are more neon, more bright, while the oranges here are a little more vibrant. And then this palette also does not have a red, while this one does have a red, and it's kind of like the reverse. The oranges are more muted, these run deeper, these are more vibrant in my opinion. And then, yeah. So, out of the two, if I can only keep one, or if I would recommend one to you, I'm going to have to go with the Slush 2. I feel like this palette is, I definitely like this palette a lot more than the Slush. I mean, I like both of them, don't get me wrong. I like both of them, but I feel like I would definitely want this more as a rainbow palette over that one. And I'm okay with it being an all matte palette. The only thing I would say that's a con to this palette is the fact that I wish the orange were more vibrant. I really feel like we didn't need both of these shades. We could have had more of a brighter neon orange, but I guess that's where the Slush comes in place. Honestly, they're different enough to where you can own both, but if you had to pick out of the two, I would go with the Slush too. Alrighty, so next up I had the Juvias Place, their Wahala palette and their Wahala 2 palette. So both of these are no longer available, so this one's just kind of for fun. So this is what the inside of the Juvias Place, their Walhalla palette looks like. It's very colorful. You get some pressed glitters in here, you know, yeah, this is it. And then this is what the Wahala 2 palette. Now this one's a little bit more blue heavy, more green heavy. You do kind of get some neutrals here. You get some pressed glitters in here. Both of them do have a multi-chrome in them. So for me, out of the two, if I had to, this one is hard because they're different enough to where you can low-key own both. But if you had to pick one out of the two, I'm gonna have to go with the Wahala 2. For me, this is just, I had more fun with this palette. I just enjoy this palette more out of the two. I feel like I've used it more than the Wahala palette, even though it is a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? You do get more variation in this palette, but I don't know why. I just like this palette more, and I feel like it's just prettier, and I feel like more people will like it. Also, I like the multi-chrome in here way, way, way more than the one in the Wahala palette. So out of the two, I would want to keep the Wahala 2 over the Wahala palette. Okay, so the next set of palettes I have are both available for purchase. I believe they should be. Yes, they're still both available for purchase. All right, so it is going to be the Give Me Glow, their Pastel Dreams palette, and the Glam Light, their Ice Cream Dreams palette. So both of these are kind of like pastel-y palettes. So yeah, this is what the inside of the Give Me Glow one looks like. I love, like, oh, this is really messing with my lighting. No, 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 no. Okay, let me see if I can hold it just like this. Okay. It just makes me dark. Anyways, so this is what the inside of this palette looks like. If I don't hold it up for too long, it's messing with my lighting, so please forgive me. But essentially, you get the opposing colors. So you get the shimmer and the matte version of the shades. And then this is what the Glam Light, their Ice Cream Dream palette looks like. Let me hold it this way. Or, which is a good way to hold this. Okay, this is fine. Yes. So this one right here is just really funky, colorful. Now I did, you know, open both these palettes next to each other, and a lot of the shades actually do have similar shades in a palette. The biggest difference being that this one obviously has more, and you do kind of get some of these deeper shades up here, right? So out of these two, let me look at this again because I have to make sure that I'm going to pick the right one. Out of these two, recommendation wise, I'm gonna have to give it to the Ice Cream Dream palette. I'm gonna have to give it to them. I really wanted to pick the Give Me Glow one. I really wanted to, but like, actually that's what I picked at first. I was gonna go with that one, but when I kind of opened them next to each other, this one has pretty much all the shades that the Give Me Glow one has. Like, it has literally like the pink, the purple color, you get the yellow, kind of, sort of. You get like that peach color, the peaches right here. What other color? The blue. You kind of get, this is kind of like a periwinkle, kind of like a blue in there, and you also get like that shimmer. So you get all those colors plus more. So recommendation wise, I think this is the better option to go with. Both are amazing formulas, so you would not be disappointed with either one. Like, they both have amazing formulas. Their shimmers are out of this world, so you'll be happy with either or. But I think variation wise, I think you should go with the Glam Light one. Final decision. And also, as I'm also doing this, please go ahead and comment down below your like recommendations. Like, which one would you have chosen? Like, I want to know if you would have chosen the same ones as me, or you would choose otherwise. Let us know down below. Let's have a nice fun little discussion. I love talking to you guys. Okay, so anyways, let's get back into this. So the next set of palettes I have are also no longer available, so this one's for fun. So it's going to be the Beauty Bay, their Book of Magic palette, and the Beauty Bay Age of Opulence palette. So both of these are very similar in color story. They're both very blue, purple, tealish. This one right here is more of a cool toned bluish purple palette, and it is trying to focus on that damn Nishane perfume. Stop it. Let me block you. I'm gonna block like my perfumes. I love having them back there, but sometimes they really do mess with my videos. So yeah, this is what this one looks like. You do get a black in there. You get very similar colors in both palettes. It's just like the richness and the saturation is a little different in the undertones. And then this is what this one looks like. This one's more richer, more warmer. Yet again, you do get a black in there. You get some neutrals. So when I saw, because this palette came out after that one, when I saw this, I was like, what's going on here? But upon further research. They're different. And I feel like, you know, if you watch my videos, you already know which one I'm going to choose. You already know which one I'm going to choose. It's going to have to be the Age of Opulence for me. It's going to have to be each and every time, every day, anywhere. Age of Opulence is that girl for me, okay? I love Book of Magic. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, okay? She's beautiful. But personally, I feel like the Age of Opulence is the better option to go with. She's just so pretty, you know? So, of course, I'm going to have to go with that one. So, out of the two, Age of Opulence. All right, so the next set of palettes that I have here are going to be by Gimme Glow, and it is their Vintage Rose palette and their Vivid Rose palette. So these are kind of, this is like a sequel to this one. This one came out first. Then you have this one. They're both, you know, rose themed. Look at the palettes, you know, Vintage Rose, Vivid Rose. Fun, right? All right, so this is what the inside of the Vintage Rose looks like. Y'all, this is stunning. I think out of like my entire eyeshadow palette collection, this has to be one of the prettiest color stories that I own. I get excited every time I look at this palette. And then this is what the Vivid Rose looks like. Okay, so this one is more like pinkish purple heavy, and it is super stunning. So out of these two, if you were new to the brand, you're like, which one should I go with? Like, should I get the Vintage Rose? Should I get the Vivid Rose? Yada yada yada. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Vintage Rose. I feel like this is more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like versatile. I feel like you can kind of get more looks out of it. The Vivid Rose is just more pink, purple heavy, and that's kind of what you're gonna do is pink or purple. While this one, you still kind of get that pink in there. You don't really get the purple, but it's all okay because just look at this. Just look at this palette. You get like a nice little quad here of just like neutral shades, and they can get really funky with this. All right, I'm gonna have to scoot in much closer because if I'm too far back, it's going to want to focus on the perfumes, and I'm gonna be very irritated when I'm editing this video and I'm out of focus. By the way, most of these palettes here, I have a tutorial on my channel using them. So, you know, if you're new to my channel, just go ahead and search through. I have plenty of looks, so check it out, you know, check it out. So the next one is going to be for fun because one of them is no longer available while the other still is available, okay? So the next palettes I have here are by Klarity Cosmetics, and this is their Berry Royal palette and their newest one, their Bloom palette. So let's go ahead and take a look at both of these. Ah, this is so beautiful. Okay, so this right here is like your pink, purple, berry type of color palette. Very beautiful, very stunning. And then I have the Bloom palette here, which, oh, got shadow all over my fingers. Y'all, the pigment on that palette is amazing, but I don't want you on my hands. Okay, so then this is the Bloom palette right here. And this is going to be more of like your green, blue, pinkish kind of color story. So obviously, out of the two, the Bloom palette is the one that's available. They recently discontinued their Berry Royal palette, which I'm so hurt by. But if I had to recommend, okay, if I had to choose out of the two, which one I feel like I need to have forever, if both of them were available, which one would you go with? I'm gonna have to go with the Berry Royal palette any day, any time, any place, anywhere. She's that girl, okay? This is truly one of my favorite palettes, okay? And I'm really sad that the brand discontinued this, but you know, a lot of these are, they did say that a lot of them are sold as singles, so you can still kind of like recreate this color story if you want this, and you know, obviously you can't get any more. So yes, I'm gonna have to go with the Berry Royal palette. I feel like she really just is that girl, but don't get me wrong, Bloom is cute. Bloom is cute, but she ain't Berry Royal. She ain't Berry Royal. Okay, so next up, this one's also for fun too because they're no longer available. This is going to be by the brand Plain and Makeup by Yolanda, and this is the Beats by Deb, her Beat Down palette, and then the Plain and Makeup by Yolanda, the Artistry Vault palette by Beauty by Melissa. So both of these are collab palettes, are really popular influencers on Instagram. I feel like they're more popular on Instagram. So Beauty by Melissa is a makeup artist. I think she's based out of New York. When I say that girl is extremely talented, like extremely talented, like personally, I don't like anybody else doing my makeup, but if I let somebody do my makeup, it'll be her, okay? Because I feel like all her work is consistent across the board. Like, you know, everybody got good looking eyebrows when she does some makeup, you know? So definitely love her as an artist. While on the other hand, Beats by Deb is an amazing, very talented, very out of the box artist when it comes to her own makeup. Like she does y'all, she does some really out there looks. So let me show you the inside of the palette. I'm here just talking, okay? So this is what the Beat Down palette looks like on the inside. It's your pretty much a rainbow palette. And I say this literally screams Deb. Like this is truly her in palette form. Okay, she loves color. While this is the Artistry Vault palette, this definitely screams Melissa, in my opinion. It screams what a makeup artist will want. You get your neutrals, you get your colors. You know, I feel like when she was making this, she was definitely thinking of from an artist perspective. A lot of people are gonna want to do neutral looks, you know, but you know, I just have the color there. So out of these two, if they were both available and I had to, you can only get one. You can only get one. Which one would I recommend? Or if I can only keep one of these palettes, which one would I keep? Now, if you know me, you know the answer. If you know me, if you have been following my content, you know the answer to this. The Artistry Vault palette, any day, anytime, she can get it, okay? This is my girl. Don't get me wrong. I love the Beat Down palette. Okay? I love that rainbow palette, but this hurts my soul that they discontinued this palette. Like, this is something that I feel they should have sold for a longer period of time. And I'm really bummed that a lot of people can't get this palette because it's no longer being sold. But she really is that girl. Like, when I say, if it was possible for me to have both of these palettes split into two, I'll be even more happy. But this is the perfect neutral palette. If you are a woman of color, when I say these shades are beautiful, if you have this, you don't know how lucky you are that you have this palette, because I love it so much. Like, oh, it's so stunning. It's so beautiful. Like, I love it. This is, I never want to let this go. Like, I never want to let go of this palette. I love her so much. So yes, I would definitely recommend the Artistry Vault palette. Out of the two, it's going to be my girl, okay? Whew, we're getting down there to the end of our stack. So this one right here, this is going to be by the brand Made by Mitchell, okay? And these are from his first release. He had released two palettes. He has his Feet on the Ground palette and the Head in the Clouds palette. I do have to tour my channel using this. I mean, like I said, just scroll through my channel. A lot of these palettes that you're seeing here, I more than likely have a video with, okay? Let me show what the inside looks like. So these are different. They're not really same colors, or they're really different in all types of avenue. But this is what the Feet on the Ground palette looks like. It's pretty much your green camo with some fun colors in there. You get like that really pretty purple this way, yellow, you know, it's fun. It's fun, right? Then you get the Head in the Clouds palette, okay? Because this, let me show you this here. Let me show you this right here, okay? This is just color. This is very whimsical. This is very fun. This is very bright, okay? Stunning, stunning, okay? So, if you are shopping this brand and you only want to buy one in the meantime, because you know, these palettes aren't really cheap. They're like $50 some each. And it's definitely more expensive if you order from his website because of that shipping if you live here in the States. So, you know, yeah. If you had to choose out of these two, which one to go with? For me, I'm gonna have to recommend the Head in the Clouds palette. I'm gonna have to recommend her, okay? I love this palette way more than the Feet on the Ground. Like, this is my girl, okay? Let's put this in. Anytime I open this palette, I just get so excited. Like, have you ever just like looked at your palettes, you know, and it's like, oh, like, I love this. Like, that's truly how I feel about this. This makes me happy. Like, this is truly a beautiful palette. This is what made me even want to buy from the brand. Like, when I saw the release photos of both of these, I was like, I want this. Like, I want this. And you know, if I'm buying this, might as well buy that one too, right? But out of the two, if I can only keep one, I'm gonna have to go with the Head in the Clouds. Like, she's beautiful. She is stunning. The next two palettes that I have here, these are older. I want to say both of these are still available for purchase. These are much, much older, okay? And it is going to be the Morphe Jaclyn Hill Volume 1 palette. As you can see, mine is extremely dirty because I have the old packet. This is the original from the first ever launch. That's this one. And then I have the Volume 2 palette right here. So let me show you what the inside looks like. I'm gonna have to back up because this is really messing with my lighting. So this is what the inside of the Volume 1 looks like. It is pretty much your neutral palette, and you get some little greens and stuff over here. And then the Volume 2, this is what this one looks like. You get your neutrals here, and then you get your fun colors down here. Okay, now, if I had to recommend out of these two, which one I would pick, it's gonna be the Volume 2. Volume 2 any day, okay? Listen, Volume 1, a lot of people love that palette, but personally for me, it's not my favorite. I feel like this is the one that I feel like Jaclyn just, you know, she did her thing with this. And I'm really bummed because by the time she released this palette, Jaclyn had gotten so much, she was getting a lot of hate because of just past terrible launches. And a lot of times people associated anytime she would post a video, it had to do with her releasing something. And she never really did looks on her channel. I don't think she did not one look with this palette on her channel, which makes me so sad because she is a truly, truly talented woman. She just don't be making the best business decisions, you know. I'm like, sis, that ain't it. That ain't it. Like, think, you know, and she never really takes accountability for some of the things, you know, she always puts the blame somewhere else. So I think because of all the hate she was getting, she just, you know, she released a palette and then, you know, never did no looks with it, which, you know, makes me sad. But out of the two, I think this is a better palette. I like this color story way more than the volume 1. Like, and you still kind of get those neutrals in there. So if you care about, you know, your neutral colors, you get it in there. And then you also get all these fun pinks and purples. You guys know I love me a pink or purple. And I get my black. And I get my black. And I get my black, black. If you're new to my channel, when you watch a couple of my videos, you will see the theme with the black guy. You will find out why I talk about black when I talk about black, okay? Because I love black, okay? I love black. Alrighty, next up on the list is going to be the Pat McGrath Mothership 5 and the Pat McGrath Mothership 6. So let me open both of these up. You know, I keep my packaging for these. This is the only time I keep packaging. Alright, so this is what the Mothership 5 looks like. It is very stunning. You get some neutrals here with this really deep purple, and this purple is dark, okay? It's like close to black. It is dark. And then you get her special shades over here. This is just, oh my gosh, this is so stunning. Like, I think this was one of my first Pat McGrath palettes. When I bought the Mothership, I had bought it with 2 other ones. I know, crazy, right? And then let us talk about Mothership 6. Jackie Aina made me buy this, okay? Because she had did a video on this, so I was like, I gotta have that. So this is what this one looks like. As you can see, very much well loved, okay? Same thing, you kind of get some neutrals here. You get this really pretty like jade, olivey green color. You get this really like dark brown color, and you get her special shades. So out of the two, which one would I recommend? This was hard. This is hard because I did a video ranking my Pat McGrath palettes, and both of these were in my top 2, with the Mothership 5 coming in at number 1. And in this very moment, if I had to pick out of these two, which one to keep forever or which one to recommend to you, I'm gonna have to go with the Mothership 5. I'm gonna have to go with Mothership 5, and let me tell you why. Okay, on the strength alone of these special shades is why this palette came in at number 1. I feel like the Mothership 6, you know, those are cute, but these palettes are not cheap. They are $125 each. Okay, and so I feel like anybody who's new to the brand, you know, you want to see what the hype is about. Like, why is this woman charging this amount of money for these palettes? I feel like this right here is going to wow you. Not the shimmer shades, the special shades in the Mothership 6, they're pretty, but I feel like they're just pretty. You know, I feel like these right here are just like extraordinary. Like, yo, look at this shade. What is, I don't even know what this one's called, but oh my goodness, these are stunning. Like, let me do this red right here. Like this right here, I feel like would definitely sell you on Pat McGrath, you know, make you a believer over the Mothership 6, because that's really the selling point of these palettes. Because I mean, I'm sorry, the other 6 shades in the palette, they're pretty, but like I don't feel like they're worth $125. No, I really do not think they're worth it. I feel like there are so many brands that have amazing quality that can give you just that. But you know, if you're gonna make yourself feel better about spending $125 on a palette, I'm gonna have to say those special shades is what makes the palette worth it. So out of the two, I feel like the Mothership 5 is definitely the route to go, and I would recommend that one over the Mothership 6. But don't get it wrong, okay? Listen, I feel like having both of them is nice. And let me say something. This is the slippery slope that comes up with Pat McGrath, is that when you buy one Mothership palette, for whatever reason, an urge comes upon you that you want another one and another one. For you know what, you have all of them. That's what happened to me. I just wanted like 1 or 2 before I knew it. I owned all of them. Okay, so I saved the hardest one. This, like, out of all of these palettes, this was the hardest one to choose out of the 2. So I saved it for last. And it is going to be the Glam Light, their Dirty Martini palette, and the Ace Beauté, their Tropical Vibes palette. So let me show you what the inside looks like. So this is what the Dirty Martini palette looks like. Just, you know, very green with some olivey shades, but pretty much it's a green palette. And then the Ace Beauté is more of like a grungy green, you know? So this is what this one looks like on the inside. Okay, now this was hard, okay? So let me tell you why this was hard, because I recently just got the Tropical Vibes palette in my collection because I did not buy it when it first released, because I felt like it was similar to the Dirty Martini palette. Boy, was I wrong. And that's what made me want to buy this. I was like, they are different. Like, they are not the same. Like, the only thing that makes them the same is the fact that they're both green palettes, but they're very, 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 very different, okay? So now, why was this so hard? Because, y'all, I love both of these palettes. Like, I love both of them, and, like, they're both worth it. And I feel like owning both of them is definitely, like, not a bad thing. But if you could only get one, if you only wanted to buy one, if I had to recommend one, if I had to keep one for the rest of my life, which would it be? Do I have to answer this? Do I? I don't want to answer this because this is hard. Okay. I'm gonna have to go with the Tropical Vibes palette. I'm gonna have to go with that one. Listen, let me explain why I chose this one in the end. Is that even though this is a green palette, you do kind of get like some of these like rusty colors, you know, and I love that you have this dark shade here, which the Dirty Martini doesn't have a shade like this. So you can keep this greenish, but you can also go like a grungy green, and you can do other stuff. Like you don't have to just kind of stick with greens. Yo, I love this palette. I love this palette, but I love them both. But out of the two, go with the Tropical Vibes. Go with the Tropical Vibes. I feel like that's a better option. I feel like you won't be disappointed. Ugh. But I mean, Dirty Martini is nice. You know, you're not gonna be disappointed with that one either, but Tropical Vibes it is. But yeah, you guys, that is the end of this video. I had a lot of fun doing this. Let me know if you want me to do another video like this. And if you do want me to do another video like this, comment down below your selections. Like, Whitney, if you had to pick out of these two, which one would it be? Okay, so yeah, that was fun. You know, this was fun to do, okay? Let me stop. Until next time, I'll talk to you beauties later. Bye.